Please welcome our 2012 Head Prefect, Sanjna.
I am a storyteller. I would like to tell you a story of a girl who was once too shy to speak in public, whose knees would tremble and voice would shake whenever she was made to speak in front of her class. But something changed that for her, something quite unexpected. Something helped her believe that she was more than this shy girl who couldn't bear to be in the spotlight. It gave her a new sense of confidence, and it changed everything for her, forever. This magical thing that had helped her believe in herself was storytelling. And the girl was me 4 years ago. A very good morning to our guest of honor, Mr. Chan. It's wonderful to have you back in our school. Our respected principal, Mrs. Lim, our vice principals, Mr. Zhu and Madam Kesavan, parents, teachers, and fellow EVGians. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to stand here to speak to you this morning. I don't think that this would have been possible if I hadn't believed in myself enough to step out of my comfort zone. You see, up until the age of 12, I'd never considered storytelling or any form of public speaking for that matter to be something that could bring me so much joy. In the beginning, it was a struggle. I remember my mother and then my teacher persuading me, trying to assure me about how wonderful an experience it would be for me. I didn't believe them. I remember the dread I had felt participating in the competitions, feeling that I was doing it more for them than for me. Frankly, I was terrified. I didn't think I was ready to stand in front of a sea of wide-eyed people, to be completely vulnerable. At first came terrible nervousness. You know, the kind that makes your heart pound so loudly you can hear it in your ears. As you look down at the crowd of people whom you know are going to judge your every single move. But as I progressed from one level to the next, those feelings gradually disappeared, to be replaced by a new sense of excitement, like the feeling you get just before the roller coaster you're on plunges. And I discovered the fun in the craft. I began to look around and I saw the smiles on people's faces, even hearing laughter whenever I told my stories. My mother and teacher motivated me all the way, and that really made me stop and think. If these people believe in me, what excuse do I have to let them down by not believing in myself too? And honestly, it became the best experience for me. If I hadn't believed in myself enough to put in the effort and to try to find the happiness within storytelling, I would have never ended up at the Nationals when I was studying in Malaysia. And most of all, I would have never found my passion. So having self-belief really is one of the most important ingredients in achieving anything. It's not enough to pursue a dream just to please someone else or because you just have to. Because if you do, you're not truly motivated at all. You have to want it so badly. So badly that you are willing to work for it, regardless of the numerous obstacles in your path. So much so, all the hardships that you face actually becomes your motivation. I realized this when I went for the national championships in Malaysia. After I had won the state championships, I awaited a call from the ministry to tell me about the nationals, like where and when it would be held. Nothing came for 2 months. And then, one day, out of the blue, a call came saying that the nationals would be in 2 days' time, in a state that was 15 hours away from where I lived. While all the other contestants had had 2 months to prepare, I only had 2 days. 2 days to make an elaborate costume, to practice my story, and to find the fastest way to get to the place. It was the first time I'd ever experienced such blatant unfairness. And the truth is, it was the first time I'd ever felt so betrayed. I didn't understand why anyone wanted to sabotage my chances of winning. My teacher and headmistress rallied around me, giving me much needed support, with my teacher even spending the entire day to make an amazing costume for me, just to give me that fighting chance. My mother was my pillar of strength throughout the experience. Maybe it was the injustice of it all, or perhaps the unwavering belief that these people had in me, that in the face of injustice, there was kindness too, which spurred me on to face the challenge ahead. And ironically, it was this test that made me believe that I had nerves of steel I never knew I possessed before. What this story illustrates is that sometimes the obstacles that we may face are the best teachers. We all face difficulties in achieving our goals, but instead of letting the fear of failure consume you, instead of giving up at the first sign of trouble, why not take a moment to look to your right or to your left? Because there will be someone in the guise of a parent, a teacher, or a friend to nudge you on, believing in you and giving you hope. So don't turn them away. Belief comes in so many forms, and we have seen and heard of numerous examples of young people defying the odds, sometimes for the very basic rights that we take for granted. Like 15-year-old Malala Yousafzai from Pakistan. She was shot in the head on her way to school. What was her crime? She had campaigned actively for girls in her village to be allowed to go to school. And today, she has not only survived the shooting, but has returned to school and continues her campaign stronger than ever. Or how about Craig Kielburger, the inspiring boy who founded the Free the Children movement with a group of friends after reading about the murder of a young Pakistani ex-slave activist. He was 12 at the time. He didn't let his young age stop him from believing that he could make a difference in the lives of poor children. Today, his organization has built over 650 schools in 45 developing countries. Maybe there is a Malala or a Craig deep inside each and every one of us, just waiting to emerge. Before every setback you face, or whenever you feel close to giving up, just think about this. Imagine you're on a roller coaster. You know where it will end, but you will never be prepared for the ride you'll experience. Perhaps it's not about the destination, but about the journey. If you believe in yourself enough to take the risk, to rise above your own expectations, I think you will realize that it was never that difficult to begin with in the first place. And you may even have a great time, just like a roller coaster ride. So take the plunge, go for it, and believe in yourself, because you are worth it. Thank you.